all so much for being here, whether you're in the studio or downloading it or coming in through Zoom. It's wonderful to have people in participation, and I will tell you, this feeds me inside and out. And I love that we're starting to be able to have a few more of these normal interactions. And if you're still downloading and Zooming, that's great, because error on the side of caution is always a good way to go. All right, y'all. Let's first take 3 breaths, just so that we can be here, mind and body. So what we're going to go over today is core engagement, and what we'll do poses that you're used to, but poses that have a much more significant impact if you choose to really engage your core. And what you want to think about when you're engaging your core, it's not just this upper core that we think of, the above the belly button part, but the part that's below the belly button is very important. And what you want to do is basically it's drawing in and up the lower abdomen, slightly pulling the pubic bone towards your navel, and then pulling the navel towards your spine. And that's going to get that lower abdomen core engagement. And your core engagement is an imperative part of your yoga practice for so many reasons. For one thing, it gives you the stability that you need to hold a pose. It also helps to stimulate your diaphragm when you pull the core in and up. And by stimulating your diaphragm, you're able to take deeper breaths. When I'm referring to deeper breaths, one of the ways that I like to think about it is that it's like you have a bellows, like you're stoking a fire. And if you think about it, if you've ever used a bellows, it's not the opening up part that's hard to do. It's the pushing the 2 paddles together. And so when you engage your lower abdomen and push your diaphragm up when you're exhaling, you're able to express more of the air out of your lungs, so that you then create the negative pressure, which allows more fresh, wonderful air to feed your body to come in. And when you engage breathing, where you're really fully exhaling, it helps to keep your oxygen level where you won't fatigue as easily. Your balance is at its optimal ability, and you're able to glean more from your practice. Also, by engaging your core, you help to draw in your oblique muscles. And when you draw in your oblique muscles, that helps to stimulate your internal organs. On your right side, it helps to stimulate your liver and your gallbladder and your ascending colon. On your left side, it helps to stimulate your pancreas, your spleen, and your descending colon. So not only does it make your organs function better by that squeeze and soak that you do when you engage the core and move, it also helps to improve your digestion, and it just makes for a healthier practice. Let's, once again though, we're going to return to just being in our practice. So 3 more breaths, realizing that you've done the hardest part. You're on your mat, you've carved out the time. The rest of it is just that beautiful gift that you give yourself by participating in your practice. Find your sit bones, the little ischial tuberosities at the base of your pelvis. Have your legs in whatever cross-leg position or straight-out leg position is comfortable for you. Draw your shoulders over your hips, slightly tuck your chin, pressing the crown of your head toward the ceiling and then the back of your head slightly toward the wall behind you. Slow breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, rotate to your right, bringing your chin over your right shoulder, left shoulder rolls. And inhale back to center. Exhale, rotating in the opposite direction. Chin goes over your right shoulder, left shoulder rolls. Inhale back to center. Exhale, spine presses to the wall behind you for seated cat. Pulling your pubic bone towards your navel and drawing your collarbones towards your heels. Holding onto your knees, inhale, draw your navel forward for seated cow. Chin lifts, eyes crossed, next big yawn. And inhale, easy seated pose. Right fingertips prong, left arm sweeps over. Press the heel of your left hand to the wall to your right and sweep back over, opposite hand. Press and sweep. Roll your shoulders again. Slide your shoulders up towards your ears. Pinch the shoulder blades back and slide them down your spine. Crossing your legs in the opposite direction. Slow breath in through your nose. Exhale, twist to your right. Chin goes over your right shoulder, left shoulder rolls. And this time we're going to stay in this position for a moment to bring a little bit of blood flow to our eyes. That helps with your peripheral vision and your depth perception, which of course helps with your balance. Eyes shut. Draw the focus of your eyes to your right temple. And then slide that focus to your right jaw joint. Tip of your chin. Across your lips to the tip of your nose and hold. Through your eyebrows to the crown of your head, looking up, 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 and exhale to release. Inhale back to center. Exhale, rotate in the opposite direction. Chin coming over your left shoulder, right shoulder rolls back and down. Eyes gently shut. And then draw your focus sharply to your left temple. Slide that focus to your left jaw joint, and then the tip of your chin. Across your lips and hold on the tip of your nose. Through your eyebrows to the crown of your head. Really look vigorously through the crown of your head, and then 3 little blinks. Inhale back to center. Right fingertips prong, left arm sweeps up and over. And roll your wrist. Then roll it in the opposite direction. Make a fist with your elevated hand and flash it out. Fist, flash, fist, flash. Sweep it back over and bring over the right arm. Pressing the heel of your right hand to the wall to your left. Roll your wrist. Roll it in the opposite direction. Fist, flash, fist, flash, fist, flash. Sweep back over again. Shoulders roll back and down. We are going to do a few wrist exercises because you will have the option when we're doing our plank positions of doing them on your hand, or if you want, you do them on your forearm, whichever is more comfortable for you. But let's go ahead and get everybody's wrist happy. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra and then pull the wrist down until your forearms are parallel to the floor. Roll your shoulders back and down, tuck your chin, press the crown of your head to the ceiling, and then invert one hand, dangle down the fingers, place the other palm on the back of your hand, and then gently, very gently, enough pressure to where you feel resistance without pain. Then wiggle the fingers on the inverted hand. And come back to Anjali Mudra, twist, center, twist, center, invert the opposite hand, gentle pressure, and you want to see if you can get your forearms, both of them parallel to the floor, shoulders down, And wiggle your fingers on the inverted hand. And release, shake out your hands. Now make one hand into a cup, the other one into a fist. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Change hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Shake them out. And now roll your thumb, pointer, middle, ring, pinky. Bring them in, pinky, ring, middle, pointer, thumb, fist, flash. Pinky, ring, middle, pointer, thumb, fist, flash. Pinky, ring, middle, pointer, thumb, fist, flash. Bring them back together again, and I do want to reinforce when you are in poses that your hands are on the ground, you want to use your tricep muscles to pull the weight out of your wrist and push the weight more towards your hips. And you want to use what's referred to as the triads of your hand. That's the part of your hand where the middle finger, pointer finger, and thumb meet on your palm. You use the triads of your hands for your grounding, and then you use your triceps to pull the weight out of your wrist. One more slow breath in before we start. Exhale. Walk your hands out, coming into child's pose. In child's pose, you want to have your heels pulling toward one another, tops of your feet on the ground, and then bring your sit bones back on top of your heels. Walk your hands out for extended child's pose. Exhale, drawing in your lower abdomen, releasing your lower back, and bring your forehead down to the ground. And do remember, in this chilly weather, if you want to wear socks during class, that's all right, but you do want to make sure that they have gripper bottoms. If the socks do not have gripper bottoms, you could slide during a pose and hurt yourself. You're best in bare feet, but if you do need the socks to keep your toes warm, then you want to make sure you have some good grip on that bottom. One more breath here in extended child's pose. Pressing into the triads of your palm. Use your triceps to pull the weight out of your wrist, and walk your fingertips to the right toward the window wall if you're in the studio. Left side body opens, right side body is constricting. You want both shoulders to be parallel to the floor. It's real easy to dip down into that left elbow, but you want to go ahead and keep both arms straight so you get a good stretch underneath your left underarm. And inhale back to center. Exhale, come in the opposite direction. Pressing your right hip to the back of the room, beautifully opening up your right side body like you're opening a fan, and then the cross section of the fan would be your left rib cage. And inhale back to center. Let your knees come nice and wide. Bring your hips back over your heels. Press into the triads of your right hand. Slide your left elbow towards your navel. And then press your left forearm into the mat to slide your left shoulder blade as far down your back as you can. And then slide your left arm underneath your right, creating a wonderful twist here. We'll stay here for 3 breaths. Pressing into the triads of your right hand. Slide your left arm all the way through your center line, pulling your left fingertips to the opposite wall, and then wiggle that wrist and roll it in the opposite direction. Let your hands meet, and then slide your right elbow towards your navel, pressing your right forearm into the mat. Slide your right shoulder blade as far down your back as it will go, and then slide your right arm underneath your left, tucking your chin and bringing your right temple down onto the ground. 3 breaths here. pressing into the triads of your left hand. Ignite your tricep, pull the right arm all the way through until it gets to the opposite wall, and then roll your wrist in the opposite direction. Let your hands meet, and inhale to tabletop. Exhale, cat. Pubic bone pulls to navel. Lower abdomen really engages. Spine is pressing to the ceiling, chin tucks, crown of your head pulls to a drishti between your thumbs. And inhale to cow. Sit bones sweep up the wall behind you, navel pulls to the floor, shoulder blades slide down your back, collarbones lift, chin lifts, eyes cross, and a nice big yawn to clear your sinuses. And inhale back to tabletop. Exhale, compress your right side body, open up your left. Right ear pulls to right shoulder, left shoulder pulls away from left ear. Inhale back to center. Exhale, compress your left side body, open up your right. Right shoulder pulls away from right ear, left ear pulls to left shoulder. Inhale back to center. We're going to do this 3 times because this is one of the best ways to wake up your spine and your entire body for your practice. Exhale, spine presses to ceiling. Inhale, cow. Eyes crossed, nice big yawn. Inhale to tabletop. Crown of your head pulls to the front of the room. Scapula integrate down your thoracic spine, really pulling your shoulder blades away from the back of your neck. And exhale, compress your right side body, open up your left, keeping the arms nice and straight. Arms are shoulder width distance apart. Inhale back to center. Exhale, compress your left side body, open up your right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Yawn. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, compress your right side body. Inhale, center. Exhale, compress your left side body. Inhale, center. Exhale, press back into closed knee child's pose for 3 breaths. Continuing to engage your lower abdomen so that you can release tension from the top of your sacrum to the tip of your tailbone. And then see if you can relax your glutes and get a little bit tighter egg shape here for your child's pose. Curling your toes, walk your hands back so that you're in hero's pose. And with hero's pose, there are 2 options. You can come back into traditional hero's pose where you're seated on your heels. Or if your knees feel a little compromised, feel free to come up in this pose. Shoulders roll back and down, arms come up overhead, and pull. Come to center and pull. Hands come to heart center and twist. Center and twist. Center. Fingertips come down to the ground, curl your toes. Walk your hands and feet together for Ragdoll. In Ragdoll, you want all 10 toes pointing to the front of your mat. Knees are slightly bent. And let yourself just cascade over your thighs. Tuck your chin so the crown of your head is pulling toward the floor. And then gently sway your head back and forth to warm up the sternocleidomastoid muscles on either side of your jaw, down into your chest and collarbone. And then nod your head like you're saying yes. And exhale, release a little bit more. Fingertips come to the floor, pedaling your feet. waking up the arches of your feet. And when you pedal your feet, you want to make sure your kneecaps are pulling to the front of the room rather than the walls to either side. That's going to help to equally distribute the weight across the ball of your foot. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, knees slightly bend. Inhale, Kadasana. Chin tucks, crown of your head presses to the ceiling, shoulders drop. Pressing into your left foot, pull to the right. Roll your wrist. Roll your wrist in the opposite direction. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, pull to your left and roll and roll. Inhale, come to center. Big toes come together, big toenails come together. Heels are 2 fingers apart for Utkatasana, chair pose. Shoulders slide down your back. Heart is lifted. Now see if you can exhale and come down a little bit more. A little bit more. Chest is still lifted. Hands come to your heart and twist. Come back to center and twist. Come back to center, front of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, high plank. Now this is a pose that takes really good core engagement. What you want to make sure that you have is that your hips and shoulders are at the same height away from the ground. So if your tail's up higher than your shoulders, bring it down and elongate your stance. If your hips are all the way down to the ground, pull them up. That keeps your back safe, your body happy, and you're exercising your core engagement. Now, if you'd like, feel free to come down to assisted plank. That means you're on your knees and your forearms. If you're in assisted plank, bring your right fist to your left hand, and then inhale and bring your left arm to the ceiling, side plank. You can always bend your lower leg to help give you a little bit more of a foundation for balance. Inhale. Keep your core engaged. Exhale, come back to plank or side plank. Now if you're doing assisted plank, bring the opposite fist over and then inhale and lift. Keep your core engaged. Feel free to bend that bottom leg if you'd like to have some extra foundation. One more breath in. And exhale, back to plank. Knees come down. Walk your way back into child's pose. Remember, when you're working on your core, it's always important to add in a counterbalance. In other words, something that stretches the lower back. And now extend your hands out and curl your toes. Feet hips width distance apart, hands shoulder width distance apart. Exhale, down dog. Bend your knees. Inhale, press your heart towards your thighs to get a good extension across your front side body. And then exhale, pull your heels toward the floor. Pedal your feet, because this is our first dog of the day, and your hamstrings and calves might need that little bit of extra attention by pedaling your feet. Inhale, exhale, walk or jump your hands to your feet and forward fold into Ragdoll. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Kadasana. Exhale, pull. Inhale, center. Exhale, pull. Inhale, center. Utkatasana, hands to heart center and twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, high plank. Now we're going to Chaturanga, which means you're going to pull your heart through your hands. You want to make sure your elbows are pointing to the back of the room and that your side body brushes the inner arm as you come forward. Exhale, Chaturanga down. That'll bring your thumbs equal with the fold of your underarm. Tuck your chin, press the crown of your head toward the wall in front of you. Pinch your elbows together and slide your shoulder blades down your back. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, baby cobra. Engage your lower core so that you take the pressure out of your back. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, up dog. Curl your toes. Exhale, down dog. Drawing in your lower abdomen, press your sit bones to the wall behind you. Remember to use your triceps to take the weight out of your wrist. All of the weight is pushing towards your hips and letting your upper body be as light as possible. Slow breath in, slow exhale. And then bring your right foot to your right hand for low crescent lunge. Now when you're in low crescent lunge, you're getting a really good opening here for your inguinal fold. And then bring down your left knee and stretch forward. Then walk back and stretch that right hamstring. Walk forward, curl your left toes, lift your hips. Both hands come to your right thigh and lift up into warrior one, dropping your left heel so that your left toe is pointing toward 10 o'clock. Roll your shoulders back and down and inhale. Make sure that your front right knee is directly over your right ankle and that you're pressing into the back blade of your back left foot. Shoulders drop, chin's parallel to the floor, heart is lifted. Your right foot is closer to the right side of your mat, left foot is closer to the left side. So you're not on a tightrope for this one, you're more like you're on railroad tracks, but we're about to switch that up. Toe heel your front right foot, one toe heel closer to the left side of your mat. Slide your left pinky toe back so the outer blade of your back left foot is parallel to the back of your mat. And pull your right hand forward, left hand back. Integrating your shoulders down your back, lifting your chest. Press into your feet. Feel the engagement of your arches. It's wonderful, y'all. Feel that pulling all the way up through your body. Draw your pubic bone to your navel and engage your lower abdomen. Rotate your front right palm and inhale to exalt your warrior. Ah. 3 breaths here, just to enjoy where you are. Ah. 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 Front right forearm comes towards your left thigh. Left fingertips come to the ceiling. Remember that forearm is just there for balance, not to support your weight, but just to support your balance. Shoulder blades slide down your back, and then left fingertips pull toward the crown molding at the front of the room where the wall meets the ceiling. Open up your left side body. And inhale to exalt your warrior. Exhale, frame your front foot coming down into child's pose again for 3 breaths. Elongate your child's pose as much as you can. And then inhale to plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra, and hold. Now focus on your lower abdomen, the part of your abdomen that is the Uddiyana Bandha, that wonderful diamond-shaped web of muscles from your pubic bone to your navel, hip point to hip point. And now focus on the thought of trying to use those muscles to pull your belly button off of the floor. Exhale, come down. Pressing into the triads of your palm, pulling your elbows toward one another. Inhale, up dog. Curl your toes. Exhale, down dog. Inhale to press your hips to the wall behind you and pull the weight out of your wrist. And then exhale, left foot goes to left hand. Right heel drops. Right toes are pointing to 2 o'clock if they were on the face of a clock. Both hands come to your left thigh. Inhale, come up. Bring your hands to your hips and pull your right hip forward, left hip back. Shoulders drop down your back. And come on up. Warrior one, Virabhadrasana 1. Chin slightly tucks, crown of your head pulls to the ceiling, creating beautiful length in your cervical spine. Now toe heel your front left foot, one toe heel closer to the left side of your mat. Slide your right pinky toe back. Left hand forward, right hand back for Virabhadrasana 2. Chin is over your left shoulder. Jaw is relaxed. Tongue is relaxed. Our tongue always tries to take over. That just makes it harder to breathe. So, relaxed, happy tongue. Rotate your front left palm to the ceiling and inhale to exalt your warrior. Opening up your left side body, compressing your right side body. So right now you're giving a little squeeze to your liver and your gallbladder, and you are opening up your spleen and your pancreas so that it's getting a wonderful influx of oxygenated blood to help the healing process and make your organs function optimally. Slow breath in. And as you exhale, bring your left forearm to your left thigh, right fingertips up, and pull your right fingertips to the front of the room, toward where the wall and the ceiling meet. Opening up your chest. And inhale, exalt your warrior. Exhale, frame your front foot, come back down into child's pose for 3 breaths. Curl your toes, walk your hands and feet together, come into Ragdoll. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Kadasana. Exhale, pull. Inhale, center. Exhale, pull. Inhale, center, Utkatasana. Hands come to heart center and twist. And center and twist. And center. Inhale, come back to a nice, easy standing pose. We're going to do the balance pose, tree pose today, and we'll do it 2 times. Please feel free to do the tree pose in whatever form best suits your comfort level. No matter what form you choose, make sure you engage your core, and it's going to make it so much more accessible. A tree pose, you have the option of having the inner sole of your foot either below your knee or above your knee. You just don't want it to be on the knee because the knee doesn't need to take that kind of pressure. What you want to focus on is not the leg that comes up so much as the leg that stabilizes. You want to really push into that foot and then pull the energy up from your foot for stability. And you want to press your supporting leg against your foot equally. So that foot is pressing into the leg, but the leg is also pressing into the foot. That'll keep you from going side to side and have a harder time balancing because then it gets too much into your hips. For your arms in tree pose, traditionally people will do an upward branch for tree pose, but feel free to play with it, and if you'd like to make your tree sway a little bit, feel free to make it sway. And remember, you learn more from the times that things don't work out the way you want to than the times when everything goes perfectly. So just think of yourself as being more well-educated if it doesn't go exactly the way you want. Let's all take a nice deep breath and first find our easy standing pose. You'll want to find a drishti, a spot to focus your eyes on while you're in tree pose. For the ease of the pose, that drishti needs to be, if it's on the floor, at least your height away from you, on the wall up to eye level. That is the range that makes the pose most accessible. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, feel free to have your drishti on the ceiling. Feel free to have your drishti be your big toe. But if you stay within the normal range, it does make it more accessible. Shoulders roll back and down. Drishti engaged. Press vigorously into your right foot, pulling up through the arch, all the way through your inner thigh, past your pubic bone, belly button, all the way to your xiphoid process, through your sternum, into your chin. Feel that energy pulling upward as you press down into your right foot. Let your arms come out first for balance, and then bring the sole of your left foot onto whichever part of the leg feels best for you. And if placing your foot on your leg does not feel comfortable, you can bring the toes down like a kickstand and just rest the heel right above the ankle. Once you feel that you're completely in your pose, allow your hands to become your branches. And then we're just going to take 7 breaths here. Three more breaths. And then step out nice and wide into starfish pose and bring your left fingertips to your right toes. And pull your right fingertips to the ceiling. Inhale back to starfish. Exhale opposite direction. Inhale back to starfish, and exhale wide foot forward fold. Pull in your lower abdomen, releasing tension from your lower back. Bend your knees slightly, place your hands on your thighs, and roll all the way up. Coming back to Kadasana, and then let your arms sweep back down. Shoulders roll back and down. Press vigorously into your left foot as you find your drishti, setting your pose. And then you can let your arms come out for balance. Feel the energy coming up that left leg, and then place your right foot on the same spot that you previously used on the opposite leg. Nice slow breaths here. Find your core balance, and then you can take your arms to whatever pose you like. Keeping the spine long. Crown of your head pulls to the ceiling. 3 more breaths. Inhale Tadasana, exhale simple forward fold. Pedal your feet a little bit, and then on your next exhale, really pull in your Uddiyana Bandha, your lower abdomen, and relax your lower back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale Tadasana. And sweep your arms down. All right, we're going to do tree pose on each side one more time. Feel free to take a different expression of tree pose if you'd like. You'll almost assuredly find the second go-round is going to feel easier than the first go-round. So if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can move that drishti, make your arms more active, or take your foot in a different position. Shoulders drop. Take all of your focus into your right foot and then pull up through your inner thigh, drawing up your arch on your right foot. Engage your core. Shoulders slide down your back. Find your drishti and then place your left foot on your right leg, anywhere that you might choose, pressing equally from the foot into the leg as the leg into the foot. And then let your arms find whatever for you is a happy treat. Three more breaths. Inhale to starfish. Exhale, forward fold with the legs wide. And then walk your fingertips to your right foot, pressing your left hip to the back of the room. Walk your fingertips to your left foot, pressing the right hip to the back of the room. Bring your fingertips to center, toe heel your feet to where they're hips width distance apart. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway left. Exhale, forward fold, knees bend. Inhale, Tadasana, and let your hands sweep back down. Last tree. Press vigorously into your left foot. Find your drishti, find your balance. Engage the arch of your left foot, pulling up through your left thigh. And then bring your right foot to your left leg, pressing equally between your foot and the leg. That'll keep your hip from going too far to the left side. Once you've found your stability, let your arms take whatever pose works for you. And breathe. Three more breaths. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, come all the way down into a little A. With balanced poses, we use our abdominal muscles and our back equally, but sometimes you feel it more in your lower back. So coming into something like the egg-shaped pose or child's pose, it's a wonderful way to give your body the recipe that it needs for balance. And walk your fingertips behind you, letting your feet come out in front of you into Kadasana, bound angle pose. Holding on to your shins, gently swirl into your hips. And then swirl in the opposite direction. Twist to your right, chin goes over right shoulder rolls. And twist to your left. Inhale back to center and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll back up again. Shoulders drop. Drop your right ear to your right shoulder. And then left ear to left shoulder. In balance pose, sometimes we tend to grit our teeth a little bit, and that can put some strain in your neck. So you want to always remember, give yourself a little bit of counterbalance posing after a balance pose. All right, feet are in bound angle pose. Come all the way down for Supta Baddha Kadasana. Lying down on your back. Walk your shoulder blades down your back. Palms face the ceiling. 3 simple healing breaths here. Soles of your feet come onto the mat. Gently windshield wiper your knees back and forth. Exhale, bring your knees into your chest And use your hands to help press on your shins, pushing the weight of your lower body into your lower back, into your sacrum, to help make space within the lumbar spine and around the sacral region. Walk your shoulder blades down your back. Soles of your feet come onto the mat, hips width distance apart. And on your next inhale, lift your hips for simple bridge pose. Remember to keep your nose pointed toward the ceiling for the best possible extension of your cervical spine. Inhale, see if you can lift your hips a little bit more, engaging your inner thighs, engaging your glutes. And on your exhale, bring one vertebra at a time down onto the mat. Relax your glutes, and then float your sacrum onto the mat. Bring your feet wide on the mat, and very slowly windshield wiper your knees back and forth with the feet wide on the mat, all 10 toes pointing to the foot of your mat. Exhale, pull your knees into your chest, a couple of little circles on your sacrum in one direction, and a couple of circles on your sacrum in the opposite direction. Pull your right knee vigorously towards your right shoulder and let your left foot set down on the mat. Place your right ankle on your left thigh, holding down your left hip with your left hand, letting your right hand rest on your right thigh to gently coax that thigh forward here in reverse pigeon. So you can probably feel the similarity to regular pigeon. This is just a little bit more gentle because you're simply using the pressure of your hand rather than the full weight of your body with gravity. Cross your right leg all the way over your left. Bring your arms either out to cactus arms or to a T. And then on your exhale, drop both knees to your left, tuck your chin, and turn your head to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Soles of both of your feet on the mat. Windshield wiper your knees back and forth just a little bit. And then press into your right foot and put your left ankle on your right thigh. Left hand on left thigh, right hand on right hip, and gently coax that thigh forward. Cross your left leg over your right, drop both knees to your right, tuck your chin, and turn your head in the opposite direction. Inhale, knees come back to center, uncross, exhale, knees come into your chest, gently rocking on your sacrum. Make little circles in one direction, little circles in the other, and then we'll go into waterfall pose. Heels pull toward the ceiling, arms come out to a T to create balance. And just for a second, pedal your feet a little bit. Your ankles had to work very hard, your arches of your feet had to work very hard in those balance poses. Now is the time for them to have a little bit of extra rest. Exhale, bend your knees, soles of your feet come back down onto the mat. A little bit of windshield wipering again. And now we'll transition into corpse's pose. Everyone will stay on their backs. I'm going to sit up so that my voice will project better, but please stay on your back, extending your body. If you know that your lower back tends to feel uncomfortable if you're flat on your back like this, feel free to put the soles of your feet on your mat wide from one another and rest the knees on one another. That will help to guide the sacrum down onto the mat and release any strain that you may have there. Otherwise, choose simple corpses pose, where the heels pull toward the front of the room, toes point toward the ceiling, shoulder blades are drawn as far down your back as they can go, palms face the ceiling, chin tucks, crown of your head presses to the back of the room, and then very gently press the back of your head into your mat, lengthening the cervical spine, those top 7 vertebrae that are at the back of your neck, and then simply surrender to gravity. Let the breath guide you. Releasing tension from your body with every breath. Inhale to observe the crown of your head. Exhale, release tension from the crown of your head. Inhale, observe your eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. Exhale, release tension from your brow line, eyelids, eyes, temples, ears, nose, mouth, tongue. Slow inhale. Expanding your lungs, expanding your chest, expanding your rib cage, upper abdomen, and lower abdomen. Exhale, drawing your pubic bone towards your navel, pulling your navel towards your spine. Inhale, let your shoulders slide away from your ears, down your back. Exhale, release tension from your shoulders, upper arms, forearms, wrist, palms, fingers, and fingertips. Inhale, expanding your torso. Exhale, release your upper back, mid back, and lower back. Relaxing from the top of your sacrum to the tip of your tailbone. Relaxing your glutes. Release tension from your thighs, relaxing your quadriceps and hamstrings. Release tension from the full circumference of your knees. Relax your shins, the tops of your feet, the spaces between your toes. Relax your calves, the soles of your feet, through your toes, and out the tips of your toes. Fully accepting Shavasana. Giving your body permission to surrender, allowing gravity to do the healing work. bring your mind and body back to this present moment. Slow breath in, audible exhale. Soles of your feet come onto the mat. Fingers interlace and come behind the back of your head. Elbows pull toward one another. Dropping your knees to the right, drop your elbows to the left. Inhale to center and exhale in the opposite direction. Inhale back to center, and then exhale, roll over onto your side into the fetal position. The right side is the traditional way to go, but if you're more comfortable on your left, please feel free to take the fetal position on your left side. One more breath in the fetal position, and then use your top hand to help you come to an easy seated pose. Bring your hands to heart center. Peace be with you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Carpe diem.